Well, hello and good evening to everybody. We have an awesome race, Super Metroid Item Randomizer League. Tonight's race is going to be a route rando. I am 329th in line, and I'm joined here by my co-com, Sir Cabby. Sir Cabby, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great. I'm excited. Finally got the everything figured out here on our end. So I think our racers are all excited to get started. So today we've got Team 1 and Team 2. It looks like we got I don't think they're quite labeled correctly, but we have on the right side Dog Ate My Morph Ball with Kuru and Simo, both some veteran randomizer runners, and the other team, which isn't quite labeled right. Let me pull up their team name here. Looks like they're getting started to go now, though.
Yep, so this week's randomizer setting is, as we said just a second ago, the route rando. And if you're not too familiar with that, it's significantly different from our normal Super Metroid Randomizer. And what this means is there is going to be one path to follow that will eventually take us to Mother Brain and let us complete that fight, go on to the escape, get to the ship, and end the game. Everything else is going to kind of be, you could think of it like an entrance randomizer. All the rooms are shuffled around. The only thing is the route will stay consistent as we go.
Interestingly enough, at the very beginning here, on the right side, we see Kuru and Simo both finding that door that's open and running for it. Meanwhile, on the left side, we've got Android checking the other doors to see what they are, which is good to know. They will all be locked in some form or another. We have a super door at Gauntlet access, but either way, the teams wouldn't be able to go that way. So it's kind of an interesting choice to get those checks out early. It's good information for sure, but it will spread out the runners as they check out the diverging routes later on.
Yep, and another kind of hallmark of this mode is that Morph Ball is always vanilla. These missiles down here, when you first exit the Morph Ball room to the right and head down, that's always a vanilla missile. And this red door always leads to Bomb Chorizo, which is guaranteed Morph Ball bombs. So we're going to see Bomb Chorizo fights on every runner's screen tonight. And then one last guarantee is that to the left of Morph Ball, we're going to be picking up our Charge Beam.
A charge beam is both a gift and a curse. Having it early obviously means that you're not going to soft lock on bosses, but we've seen a lot of route randos this season so far, where you don't get much more than that. I've seen some end with just charge and ice, and that makes for some long fights. So getting that extra ammo is always a very big concern. They tend to have lots and lots of missiles and just a few supers, so every super we can find along the way is going to be a big deal.
Yeah, that's a great point, and we'll definitely see how our runners prioritize picking up those ammo expansions as we get later in game, and see how that affects kind of the play and decisions. And I think the most fun element of this type of randomizer, as we talked about in the lobby before Sir Cabby, is trying to keep track of it all.
Yes, absolutely. This is my first time trying to commentate a route rando, and I think we're going to go a little cross-eyed, but hopefully we'll see some patterns between the teams, and we can kind of converge on all the information overload.
And it is teams, which means that our runners on the left can communicate, and our runners on the right can communicate just with their teammates to try to make optimizations, and as they get information that the other runner may not have. It's a good way to kind of help ensure, because the team finish time is going to be the average time of the two finishes. That's going to be what our final time turns out to be. So far, other than those vanilla starting items we talked about, just some E-tanks. I think we did see one reserve tank.
That's another thing that's happened quite a bit too. We've got two energy tanks and a reserve on Kishmo's stream, which is fantastic, and on Simo as well. And we've had a lot of these route randos that can really hold off giving you any energy. So having this early on should save a lot of deaths that we've experienced so far in the league, as well. As we get a little bit of beeping here, but yeah, I may have called that too early.
Sad. I didn't want to cut you off there, Cabby, but speaking of the low energy, with these random room layouts, Kuro ends up in a hot room down there in Lower Norfair, and with no E-tanks, or an empty E-tank, I think, was only had like 73 health. Not able to survive the weather.
Yeah, that's always really painful early on. So unfortunately, commentator's curse, I suppose. Another thing with these, we did find that hub. So they found Big Pink already, which is great. That's going to give them a lot of options to explore. And there's a save point in there. So something I can't stress enough is, something I do a lot of my own runs. I'm not sure if it's necessarily the best thing, but I save as much as possible before diverging, both for possible backtracking if you go down a path that's just gonna be a waste of time to come back, or of course in the event of a death, especially early on. So, but Kuru, super fast. I believe he'll be back there in no time, and with all the information he's gathered up until now, he can probably save a little bit of time as well.
Yeah, if you're gonna take a death early on, is probably the best time to do it. You make up ground quick and just get right back in the run with it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think almost every race I've seen, we've had at least one death, on most runners. So get it out of the way early, fresh start.
And speaking of saves, just another note with this mode, if you're not familiar with it, all the save rooms are vanilla, so our runners will not have to wonder where to go for that. They'll be able to kind of make optimizations as they're going along. And you see down there how the different hub rooms on Kishimo's side, you can see how it's kind of frustrating to have to explore for what door is available right now. And Android Dream's fallen into the same trap here in that Lower Norfair room, locked out, can't really access anything, and has to take a reset. Is that a full reset, or was there a save on Android Dream's side? There's a save.
Yeah, that was that Big Pink save I mentioned. So good call. Easy reset, not a big time loss. Definitely agree with that play. It's like both Simo and Android Dreams had the same idea.
And making an appearance, something you don't see too often in Randomizer, and hardly ever, I would say never in the vanilla game, is our good friend Spore Spawn showing up to the party on Kishimo's side.
Yeah, I would say myself included, a lot of runners do not know how to fight Spore Spawn. You don't do it anymore. We're so used to skipping them. It's led to some fun categories such as Spore Spawn RTA and whatnot. So sometimes people really just want to find ways to get them in, and this is their Rat Rhinos. He seems to make more appearances than not. As with all the other bosses except Fantoon, may or may not be required, depending on what's behind Spore Spawn. If he's got some kind of progression required thing, or just to pass the next required hub, then he's obviously required to pass through him. But none of the bosses except for Fantoon can actually gate a door, as far as unlocking a door, as far as I know.
And Spore Spawn is an awful fight when you don't have super missiles, or I think they just run and charge right now as well. So this will be cycle 6, I believe, for Kishimo. But like you said, it's a fight that I feel like we're so rarely exposed to. So Kishimo handling it pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, it's still obviously a very easy fight, but of course there's optimal, speedrun strats. Like how do I fit in on which phases of Spore Spawn do I fit in the missiles? I know on the race I did, Maniacal had a good breakdown for it. I still do not know the best way to do it, but making short work of it regardless.
And that bottom door on the right is going to be powerbomb locked in Big Pink. One of our other runners might have seen that. That's the first time I'm seeing it, though.
We have the Kraid kill. Actually, I guess I was mistaken. So Kraid will unlock this door on the left here. He will gray door out whichever door you didn't come in, as I understand it. So always good to get that one out of the way.
Yeah, and the boss requirements, other than the Fantoon door like you were talking about, they're all just going to be if they're in the way. Like if you need to pass through them, then they're required, and if not, then they're not required to fight.
Yeah,
Another
I
duel.
learned that lesson the hard way in my last race. I killed Dragon twice. He was only guarding power, or she was only guarding power bombs, and I I did not know if it was required or not, and so I just did it. So learned that one a little too late, but hopefully some of these runners have learned from my mistakes. We got a Kraid stand up. Kind of hard to do without supers, so we're not going to fault Simo for getting the Kraid stand up here.
Now we see Kishmo about to make progress into that Kraid fight as well, and Android Dreams has found the baby Metroid.
Yeah, this can actually be pretty dangerous. You never know what that next room is going to be. Is it a heat room or whatnot? Now, luckily, we've got a reserve tank as backup, but this is a kind of a risky situation. You never know. Are you going to get plopped into amphitheater or something like that?
Yeah, well, actually,
And
I don't... Does Android have the reserve tank? I don't see that grayed out
I think
arrow.
I thought I saw him just turn it off, but maybe I'm mistaken.
Well, there's one available, whether Android has picked it up or not.
All right, Kratos down. The back door is, of course, missing. It will never exist in the route randos, to my knowledge. So we got the kill, and now the door on the left here should be unlocked for Simo, and it is.
And that door only led to a missile tank. So, Kraid, not the payout we were hoping for with the Kraid fight.
Yeah, so now we've learned that Kraid is effectively not in logic. So hopefully we'll see Kuru and Android skipping that.
One of the nice perks of having the teams running co-op can let your partner know that that was a big waste of time.
Absolutely.
So, Sir Cabby, you were talking to me in the setup room about running this. Ooh, Ice Beam. Android Dreams finding Ice Beam. That's a nice pickup. You had mentioned something about running it yourself. What goes through your head when you're plotting out a race like this?
For our team, like our strategy was a lot around not having information overload, but keeping track of what's important. So like we don't need to know like what rooms necessarily. You don't need to communicate what rooms you came across necessarily. It's more about which direction in the hub did you take and what that led to, and then what other kind of gating progression and whatnot you find along the way. So that said, it's still really hard to do. Once you get 2 or 3 hubs deep, you might forget how to get to a particular hub, or you might forget about faster ways of travel back to like landing site, for example. The routes tend to diverge or converge back on landing site once or twice at least in these randos. So it's just a lot to keep track of, and especially when you're hearing something from your partner, even when you hear it, it's still easy to continue down paths that you've yourself not explored yet, just because seeing it is one thing and hearing it's another. So there's just a lot to keep track of, especially these tend to run, especially for me, a little bit longer than normal, and you can have some mental fatigue and whatnot from all the I guess the high octane communication and exploring.
Yeah, it's certainly.
And
yeah,
that ice beam pickup, as you mentioned, definitely a nice find. Not only for the Metroids, but like I said before, the beams in this can be very sparse. I've had at least one where I only found ice. Now maybe other beams were in there, on non-required paths and whatnot. But every little bit of damage you can get for those later fights is super helpful. You don't want to be in Mother Brain with only like 3 or 4 E-tanks and trying to do like a 600 shot fight. So
yeah, I'm not sure where. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there.
Oh no, go on.
I'm not sure where Android Dreams broke off on the routing, but cashing in on all the finds right now. Android Dreams found Various Suit, Ice Beam, and just picked up Space Jump. Simo is just picked up the Ice Beam, so is on the tail of that route, but I don't know where the divergence was that Android Dreams is finding all this payout, but certainly nice.
Absolutely. You're finding that baby skip as well? Or, sorry, not the skip, but the baby itself. The skip.
Yes, the baby skip.
Shout out to my team, the baby skips.
Various Suit always nice to find in any randomizer, but I feel like this one specifically even more because you can get pushed into hot rooms in the blink of an eye. And so being able to start out with not only the damage, a little bit of damage resistance there from enemies, I think the Very Suit is half damage, but you also get immunity to those hot rooms. And so that's definitely going to help give Android Dreams, and I would imagine Android is going to direct Kishmo to pick that up quickly as well. It's going to give their team a nice edge as far as pushing forward, feeling confident about moving in, but we see Simo also picked up the Very Suit there, so hopefully all our runners are going to be running some new threads soon.
Absolutely, yeah. Those damage mitigations cannot be overstated. There, you'll come across a pancake room or some other like later game room, and the enemies are designed to take away damages, assuming you have gravity, and man, you can really lose a significant portion of your health, especially when you haven't found E-tanks early on in the game as well. So yeah, that's absolutely. I mean, I think it's the reason why we see so many deaths in route randos specifically, because you are forced into later game rooms earlier than you find these suits a lot of the time. Yeah, Android Dreams skipping the save, but I think we saw him save recently, and I believe we saw. I think it was Simo's screen. We saw a Turian save, which is also really good to be doing. That Turian entrance elevator area with the lava has killed more than one runner so far this week. So, yeah, even seemingly innocuous rooms can be pretty dangerous if not taken seriously.
I'm picking up some more power bomb ammo for Kuru. And more importantly, grabbing that Very Suit. So all 4 runners get the damage decrease as well as that heat resistance. So important. And it definitely gives you, like we said, a sense of comfort exploring this pretty unknown world.
Yep, and with the space jump, that also unlocks some progression as well. It's nice to get early. Looks like now all team members have that. So with that, of course, you got the worst room of the game access. You've got an easier time traversing certain rooms. Things like high jump, obviously very nice to have, but not required for anything. So we'll see if that will make any significant difference in their particular branches. Of course, the runner's really looking out for, of course, gravity will almost likely be required. We haven't yet seen, I don't believe we've seen any speed booster lock paths yet. Of course, we got the Frog Speedway, which will require speed booster and spring ball, as well as the climb supers is another speed check. There's probably a few others I'm not thinking of. And yeah, so and then of course screw attack would be a very nice convenience item at this point. And then of course there's also the energy take concern. So we can get by with the 3 E-tanks and suits, but the end can be pretty dangerous. We've seen multiple times where we've had a boss rush at the end of the game here. Either Dragon, Ridley, and then Mother Brain, or Ridley, Mother Brain. It's happened more than once. And we still only have 5 supers across all the runners as well.
Yeah, Charge Ice is nice damage output, but it's not great damage output. So they're certainly going to be hoping to find some more supers or, wave, plasma, something to help them, pack a little bit more of a punch. Now, we are seeing up here, I think it was Android Dreams that checked that first. The gauntlet door was a super missile door, and armed with the super missile lock and key there, Android Dreams returns back to the landing site and is going to give us a look at where that path falls out. And kind of the diagonal other approach, we're seeing the bottom runners, Kishmo following in as well, but taking a look at where that power bomb door in Big Pink was leading, bottom right.
Yeah, it's an interesting play. Being able to go back to landing site creates a whole new branching route to start exploring. So do you leave one person behind to finish up and do cleanup work on Big Pink? It looks like here we've got a space jump check requirement for Android Dreams. So in this route rando, that is still required in order to lower the acid in here. But yeah, it's interesting. So on one side, you're able to spread out, which increases your effectiveness of exploring everything quickly. But at the same time, you're also likely to find something required for the other player, and so then they have to backtrack more. So it's a trade-off. Maybe and you know, considering how our runners or our two teams are handling it, we might see how that pays off. Of course, the seed being a rando, you never know. Okay, we also have a grapple requirement lock for Kishmo there. So entered pants room. Well, we do have ice though. We do have ice. Ice clip is still, I believe, in logic if Kishmo were to continue on to the next room, assuming they can make that jump across. It's not easy by any. Oh no. I'm sorry. Gravity suit would be required for that. So we either need gravity suit or grapple to continue that path. And it looks like Kishmo's opting for the reset instead.
Yeah, and that reset is exactly what you were talking about saving often, because when you get to a point where it's not going to be effective to backtrack as far as you're going to have to be to get somewhere useful, just take a save scum and start over.
Yeah, we have chat pointing out that in this particular route rando, the Puyos that you normally ice clip with are removed. So it is definitely a grapple requirement to continue that path. And thank you, chat, for pointing that out. Yeah, my knowledge is still pretty new. I learned how to do this a week ago, so much to for us newbies to still figure out all the specific changes in these rooms. There's quite a few other ones too to point out. Obviously, Frog Speedway has some cleverly placed blocks in the way mixed in with the speed. Oh, we got more power bombs there. But yeah, we've got some like a spring ball required speed ball to get through Frog Speedway. It kind of makes spring ball a progressive item where it may not have been before. There's also some subtle changes, like back of Gauntlet is now shot blocks. I've seen that in a race recently as well. And so runners may think that those are still crumble blocks and they can't go that direction. And there's quite a few other things. Aqueduct, I believe, is also just wide open to go to the place where you normally shine spark up. We have Kuru entering GT with a locked door behind, so I hope he's prepared. Checking to see what the item is before fighting, which is very smart play. You never know if that's super important, and if you die here, is it worth coming back for it? Or is it going to be useful for the fight? If that was a super missile tank or something, that's really useful. Unfortunately, without having like grappling beam here, it makes it that much harder to farm because you can't keep your safety spot while also farming more supers. Android Dreams, meanwhile, finding the high jump boots at the screw attack location. Clever use of the ice shield, I believe it's called. Someone else can correct me on that. Yeah, it's ice shield. Thank you.
Yeah, this is a rough fight to find yourself in, especially if the path behind Gold Chorizo is required, because we are not really armed to handle this. It's a pretty low % fight, both in energy and ammo count right now.
Yeah, I mean, Kuru is going big on doing those farms, but it will cost him here, unfortunately. Doing the charge ice is going to take forever. I'm sure someone here can do the math for me. I know Tracy's great at knowing that stuff as she's here, but that would take an exceptionally long time. So trying to get those supers in and farmed is going to be very hard to do safely with this energy tank and without the grappling beam. The GT tends to grab, I think, one super out of every 5. So if I typically farm in increments of 5. Of course, 5 being their max here, but in order to make an effective farm usage of the supers I've got. Kishmo putting up a good fight. We'll see. Hopefully, Kishmo has better luck. It looks like so. A great fight from Kishmo. That was not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, you see just how low Kishmo's health was. Able to take it down. Gonna give us a look at what was behind the Gold Chorizo path. And it is Shaq Tools.
Another change here, being able to go underneath the bridge here. Little shortcut, so you don't have to wait for Shack Tool. It's very much appreciated on my end for sure. I was a little surprised that Kishimo opted not to take the missile pack that was above GT. I believe fanfare being removed. If it's right there, I usually just grab it. But I mean, Simo's doing the same thing there at the Fort Grapple Hook location. So yeah, I mean, I guess it makes sense. But you know, I personally am not comfortable not having as much ammo as possible before I've got a good beam combo set up.
Well, let's talk about beam combos real quick. Because Kishmo gets rewarded for this Gold Chorizo route. It's a dead end, but it's a dead end that has the plasma beam at the end of it.
Oh wow, I missed that. That's fantastic.
So, was Simo that was down there already, right? Simo took the death to Gold Chorizo, if I believe.
No, I think that was Kuru.
Okay. Well, either way, one of the runners on the right side was down there, and they're not missing out on progression, so to say. That is a dead end, the route. But it does have a nice pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, so to say.
I know I would personally go for it. Those later fights, I mean, we definitely have runners in this league that would be just fine without it. But at my personal skill level, I think it'd be faster to go get it. Just the death insurance and whatnot is such a nice convenience to have charge and plasma.
And when you see where Kishmo came out into that hub of Big Pink, it's only like 2 or 3 rooms, right? It's that bottom right power bomb door.
Yeah, you could route it right in. I mean, you still have that really tough fight. But yeah. It also means though that if you know it's there and you know it's a tough fight now, maybe it's a play to do it later.
Right.
Yeah, we didn't see any required items back there. It was technically an optional route that Kishima spent a lot of time on and had to go through a hard fight. We see Kuro going back that direction. Of course, Kuro not knowing what is back there yet. I'm sure we'll be greatly satisfied to see the plasma beam, but probably not going to be too happy knowing that it's not a progression path.
I'm trying to think of how like time breakdowns here. I feel like it's still, even having to go back more than once, it's still worth the time save for the amount of charge shots you cut down with ammo on Mother Brain. To have plasma in your beam combo, you know, you go from something like you were talking earlier, like a charge wave is like 600, like 500 or 600 shots or something crazy.
Yeah, absolutely. I think right now with their beam combo and ammo count, I would agree with that. We don't know if they're going to find like 30 supers or however many. So at some point it's going to balance out, right? And I know I've had a route rando where I got 10 supers. I had one that I got like 35. So yeah, you don't really know if you have a lot. Oh wow, Android Dream's now finding the gravity at Mission Impossible.
Android Dreams has been reading this route. It's been a Dreams route for Android Dreams. It was the first to pick up ooh, but just as we say that, stumbles into the Fantoon room. But more than oh, sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, more than capable, kind of armed to the teeth, so to say. Gravity suit, looks like 5 E-tanks, about 50 missiles or so. This should be a pretty okay fight here.
Yeah, and Simo right on his tail on getting that on that the gravity suit, and this upcoming awesome fight he's going to get to do. I don't believe we've seen yet if it's Fantoon locked or not yet. So at this point, I don't think we know if this fight is required. So if it is required, obviously it's good that they found it now. It's not, of course, this is probably a minute or two waste of time. And certainly no one's going to turn around before coming into this room unless they've, saved or whatnot. But again, you'd have to give up gravity suit. So I imagine at least one person from each team is going to hit this route. And hopefully the second person decides to do so as well. I think just knowing the luck on having a Fantoon locked path once you find them.
Yep, and Simo indeed going toe to tentacle with Fantoon here. I would be very surprised if this early on in the run, our runners communicated to their teammates that don't worry about Fantoon. It's one of those things that we haven't really found anything else that's really pushing us in another direction yet.
Kuru, has just found his high jumps as well. We got very close Fantoon fights going on here between Simo and Android. So, and Kishimo's right there with Kuru. So like both teams are like at the same spots. It's kind of crazy how close they are, at least in the rooms right now.
Yeah, it's diagonal high fives. If you had a diagonal bingo here, you win.
I called this the X Factor. Okay, maybe not. I made that up.
No, it was good. I liked it.
I got no support from my co-coms. I was left high and dry. But
I said
it was bad. It was bad. It's okay. I'm a dad. I'm allowed to make these jokes. Okay, so heading back, it looks like. So yeah, Fantoon being a dead end, I believe, in the route. I don't think we had any other splits or forks in the branch to come back from. So, and of course, the gauntlet's always a fun thing to do without screw attack.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how if both teams decide to do the same thing with Fantoon knowledge, because you could just go get the. I don't know if that return door was locked. You could just go get the gravity suit and double back, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and I know if like from racing Kuru in the past. Granted, this was not Route Rando, but I know he is an aggressive player. He's very confident in his skills. He's got years of running this under his belt. And it shows. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he's going to play aggressively here and tell Simo to not do it, or if he'll advise, I guess, on to continue that route. Kishimo, on the other hand, will be going that route. It looks like we see Kishimo picking up gravity now and going up the Mission Impossible hole there. So it looks like we will have at least a third Fantoon fight. Simo going up the toilet.
And Android Dreams finding an extra super missile tank lying around there in the wall of Mama Turtle Room. Again, super missiles can be hard to come by, so it's not something that, not progression, but it's not something we're going to say no to.
Absolutely. Super missiles are a great find when doing this. I know too, whenever you've got your partner and you're like going through all these different like dead ends where you find like a missile tank or whatnot. Sometimes that leads to very lopsided ammo pickups because, like I mentioned before, I tend to pick up everything if it's like right in front of me, just because there's no fanfare and whatnot. But when racing with Papa Schmo's my partner, I believe I had like twice the number of missiles that he had, which can definitely help in certain situations. So it's kind of fortunate as of now. We've seen everyone with very similar ammo counts, so that there's no like lopsidedness to their ability to progress through the same rooms. But that can happen sometimes, and hopefully it doesn't happen with something like supers.
Well, we've got Fantoon saying final farewell to our left side team. Going to be making one last appearance, though, it looks like, on Dog Ate My Morph Ball's side, as Kuru does look like he's preparing to head up north to take on the Ghost. It's funny, though, Sir Cabby, not related to the race fully, but Papa Schmo was the first person I commentated with back in November. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
Give a nice hello to Papa Schmo for me. I didn't know he was your teammate. That's funny.
Will do. Yeah, I got Papa Schmo and Kev Nasik, so I was lucky enough to get invited to their team for this league. It's been a truly an honor to race with these guys, as well as all these competitors. I mean, so many names are familiar in the community, and just seeing everyone's skills, and it's been a very good experience. Yeah, again, I'm pretty new to it, but very good experience so far. Very open and welcome community, and we got an angry Fantoon from Kuru, unlike him actually. This is pretty rare.
Well, I can second that. All the rando communities are wonderful, but this Super Metroid community is pretty much a fantastic community to be a part of. So if you are new to this, I highly encourage you to join the Discord and get to know some of these people around here. Give these runners a follow. We did see the gravity suit giving us our lava dive access, but it did not yield anything other than a missile expansion. So Android Dream's having a double back now, but Simo has found Metroids. Is armed with the ice beam, so not the worst. But
I wonder if this means we're getting close to a mother brain discovery. I mean, obviously we're only 30 minutes into this. I usually see this go longer, but I don't know if it's necessarily like a logical thing or if it's my experience just talking. But we've seen in some of our practices when you start to get like common rims showing up that sometimes it's an indicator of proximity, but that could be totally wrong. But yeah, Guru finishing up with Fantoon. So I think is that our fourth now? I think everyone's cleared it.
That is all 4 Fantoons.
Excellent.
And on that note of the awesome community, please do give these runners a follow, especially if you're enjoying what you're seeing here. They're working hard to put on some awesome entertainment, and they're always providing great content on their channels. So if you're enjoying this, it's a great way to show some love and support to these runners.
Absolutely, and again on the welcoming part, if you find Super Metroid like somewhat interesting, maybe you've tried it in your private time, non-streaming and whatnot. I was doing 80% one day and not doing very well, and I ran into Kuru one day, and he's like, "Hey, do a multi-Troy with me sometime," and got me doing some randos with him. And then next thing I know, I'm getting invited into this league, and here I am. I never thought I'd be doing it, but not doing half bad, you know. And so I think it's one of those things where you have plenty of resources. Super Metroid's got quite a bit of tutorials and people willing to help, and people that reach out to you as well. So if you're shy or anything, feel free to hit the Discord and just ask around, and I'm sure you'll find your way. We got Ridley on Simo's screen. 10 supers max possible in here. Trying to get those power bomb extra damage shots here. This is a precocious situation.
Yeah, it does have charge. Like we said at the beginning of this, charge is guaranteed in this route rando, so won't soft lock, but could end up with a steep hill to climb as far as damage. Kishmo, on the other hand, is the only runner who went out of the way to pick up Plasma Beam. So Kishmo is going to have a... Oh, actually, Android Dreams also picked that up. I'm sorry. See that up there on the tracker spot. So that's going to really factor in the difference as far as DPS here when they reach their Ridley fights.
Yeah, this is certainly a force multiplier on the ability to get through this fight more easily. We see that, unfortunately, Simo did a reset here. So yeah, that's that happened to me. It happened to me on my last race. So yeah, I can totally understand that feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone in chat can crunch the numbers quickly. I don't know what a fight with charge ice does to, like, what the damage time is like that on Ridley. I do know that plasma is the biggest damage increase though. So Android Dreams is going to have a much more enjoyable fight. This is a little more approachable. Still rough. You'd like to have... it looks like Cat is saying 200.
Yeah. That's a lot of shots.
Well, for all the advantage that Android Dreams has with a plasma beam, see the reset. So I'm not sure what happened over there. I was kind of scanning through the screens.
Yeah, I missed it as well. Did we? I assumed it was the Ridley fight, but maybe they saw the next room and decided that wasn't worth it. I don't know. Oh, it says someone's pointing out that Android Dreams does not have plasma. Is that we need to, I guess, watch for that. Yeah, it looks like not. I wonder if they reset at some point and lost it.
Actually, you know what? I
Or
think
had-
it might just be. I think we might have just. I think it might just be
It
a
might-
miss on what we have displayed, because I'm pretty sure Kishimo's the only one that made the trek out there. So I should have stuck to what I said in the beginning there. But this is a hard mode to keep track of for
Yeah,
everything.
absolutely.
So,
Yeah, definitely props to our tracker. We got Paragon doing the tracking for us today. Doing an excellent job. I can't imagine trying to do this honestly. I thought comms would be a much easier thing for me personally to try to do. And yeah, it's just so much to try to look at once. So doing an excellent job so far. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
big shout out to Paragon, solo tracking this, trying to follow all four things here. Yes, but Kishimo is going to follow through on this Ridley fight. Makes much more sense. It is not 200 shots with the plasma beam, and just like that, you see the difference it makes. You see the difference it makes. We didn't even start talking about it when Kishimo started this fight, and it's already over.
Excellent
So,
fight.
very clean fight from Kishimo. Definitely helps to have the plasma, and looks like that route continues. So let's see.
Simo's at Fantoon, so maybe we were wrong on the 4 Fantoons, or maybe we had a reset there. But getting the maybe fourth and final Fantoon fight.
I think Kishimo had the reset from Ridley, and
Okay.
that's where we lost the because Kishimo definitely had the gravity suit, and we had Kishimo and Android Dreams with that simultaneous Fantoon fight. This mode, it's nasty.
I'm glad you're here to help me to keep it straight, because I'm struggling.
No, I'm glad you're here. I did this solo a couple hours ago, and I just had fun. Let's just put it that way.
At least when you're solo, you don't know when you're wrong, and you can just enjoy it.
Well, what we can say is that is potentially the last Fantoon that we will have to see there. Simo doing a nice job taking Fantoon down for a second time. Gonna be walking out of here with the gravity suit. And, you know, actually, it's funny that we say that, because Simo deciding to go through with Fantoon means our players are banking on Fantoon probably being required, because Simo definitely had the knowledge that that route did not continue anywhere.
Yeah, yep. I agree with that personally. You know, that is a possible good lead you can get over your competitors. Well, it's a gamble, but if you gamble and you lose, you know, you're back quite a ways, and so it hurts really bad when that doesn't pan out.
Yeah, it's somewhat of a doubling down and then letting it ride again the second time around, because if you're wrong, there's really nothing you can do at that point. You're not going to know till, you know, much later in the game, and there really won't be a chance to make that time up. So definitely makes sense, especially having to do the reset there too. Simo probably feeling like doesn't want to leave any loose ends that could be tied up for a few minute fight like that.
Yeah, I one of the first practices I did on Route Rando, the first times doing it, I practiced with Kev and or Kev Nastics, and that happened to us. So he did Fantoon on like some path that he took, and I was somewhere else, and I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go that way. And we get all the way to where Mother Brain is, and it's locked by Fantoon. So we ended up finishing the race about 30 minutes apart. It was quite a long journey to get there and back.
Well, speaking of long journeys there and back, something that helps aid with that is the speed booster that we saw picked up on Kishimo's side. Let you go through things a little faster, as well as some of those rooms we were talking about with those requirements to access with speed boosters. So we'll see if that is intended for finishing this route here.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if we had any speed locked paths that I missed. Because yeah, again, just to go over that, we have the Frog Speedway, and we've got early supers room, or not early super, climb supers room. I'm trying to think if there's any other ones. Botwoon potentially. I'm not sure. I think we can still ice clip in that room.
Well, this is interesting. We've seen a Ridley route that ended up with nothing. We saw a Kraid route that ended up with nothing. Our Fantoon led us to the gravity suit. All of our runners have prioritized that even after having to come back a couple of times for each team. I think we had to make those choices.
We have
So-
Android Dreams doing GT now. So this is that play I mentioned earlier. I think, if I recall correctly, this is the one that leads to Plasma,
Yep.
and Android Dreams now has a little bit more of an arsenal to attack GT with. Now, he's doing it with just the charge shot, which is very safe. Obviously, if we were to like tank all those supers into him, it'd go a little bit quicker. Yeah, this is a guaranteed safe strat here. I don't disagree with it. It's just going to take a little extra time. You're going to pay it up for that, but no resets involved.
Time that is easily made up when you're dealing that kind of damage with Plasma Beam, though.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the bummer is for Sima was no, I'm sorry, it was Kuru who was down here. Kuru was down here. Unfortunately, took a death to the Gold Torizo. Did not get the information, the valuable information. Plasma Beam sits at the end of this hallway, so it's not required, like we said, but it could make a big difference as far as effectiveness. We already saw it once, as Kishmo was able to wrap up the Ridley fight. That Sima was down there and took the reset. I forget which one it was, but. We already saw it paying off.
Looks like Kuru backtracking a little bit here, deciding to go a different route. Yeah, I've seen Kuru play a lot. He's very good. I'm sure he can do it without it. So maybe this is a play on his part, just based on what he's able to do. We'll see.
Well, something that can't be overstated is the skill set of our runners.
Absolutely, and sorry to interrupt, but I did we say that Simo had the plasma at one point?
No, Simo has never had. Simo did not finish the.
Yeah, so I guess my statement there is just inaccurate. So their team does not know about plasma being back there yet, and so I wonder if they'll remember to go that way or not later on the route, if they remember that's still a path that's to be traversed.
Yeah, it was definitely important knowledge that one team got and one team did not get, and you're seeing that play out right now as the top runner on the left here, Android Dreams, is going to be able to pick up Plasma Beam. Going to very big increase in that damage output. And Kishmo just managed to hang in with the Gold Torizo long enough to get that information, whereas Kuru died before finishing that fight.
But yeah, very hard fight. The it's part of the problem with these. I mean, randos in general, but especially route randos, is remembering about paths you left behind is difficult, especially when you've been down them before and then you reset. Like, have I finished that path or not? It's a lot to keep in your head, and for this amount of time. So, maybe they remember it's there, maybe they don't. Hopefully, someone will. Oh, never mind. Drew is going down that path, or no, he's not going down that path right now. No. So we'll. I guess we'll see.
I was gonna say Kuro, without the knowledge of Plasma, is going to just kind of tank this fight here and go for those. Power bomb strats, try to optimize the missiles, and then I think we said it was 200 ice shots alone. So I don't know how we mitigate that with some of the other damage. But
getting some of those double power bomb hits in though, which is excellent. Making good use of those. So probably trying to go through all these power bombs before Ridley gets really angry, and then wrapping it up with the supers at the end. It's a smart move. Excuse me.
Now, I think the worst news of this whole thing is I don't think this route paid out. If I remember correctly, Android Dreams grabs a missile tank a couple rooms from here and then doubles back and heads out. So,
yep, absolutely. It was a price that their team has paid, and now they got the knowledge, and so Kuru is about to pay his debt to this for this knowledge, and hopefully Simo won't ever go this way.
I'll tell you, it feels good to be sitting on a beam combo that includes plasma though for our left team here.
Very much so. Yeah, you never know what you're going to get in these route randos. So the route randos can omit some of the items. I believe it can omit some of the beams. So having your heaviest hitter beam available is always appreciated.
Unfortunately, we do see Simo is making the play down to the gold Torizo fight. And like we said before, a little more arm to the teeth can handle this, kind of take it on the chin, whereas last time I think we were down here, we had like 2 E-tanks and various suits. So definitely... sorry, go ahead.
Making use of those supers and also getting the missile count below 30 so that GT will start spitting out the little orbs that we can then farm. If you have above 30, GT will just continue to shoot waves at you instead, making it impossible to get those supers back. And then using missiles too to do your farm also is kind of nice. If you're picking up lots of missiles, kind of a 2-for-1 to keep your ammo count low, while also continuing to get those supers. So probably see that kind of trading off back and forth as the farming goes on. Ridley is dead. We got a Dragon fight going on for Gishmo. It's currently the boss hour. We got Ridley now on Android Dreams as well. So it's bosses for everyone.
Well, Android Dreams going to Ridley makes me wonder if there's something about this mode that I'm missing, because
yeah,
I don't know that this path led to anything.
I can't fault Android Dreams for doing it. So either there's something we missed, which is definitely possible, but
very likely.
Yeah, can't rule that out. But Android Dreams could also possibly think that Ridley can somehow gate a door or something. To my knowledge, he can't. Chat was very sure to remind me of that during my race, but yeah. So we'll I guess we'll find out in the interview. What was going on.
And chat asking is Speed behind Ridley. I don't think that's the path that Speed turned out, but we will see in just a few seconds with Android Dreams. So happy to be wrong in this case.
Yeah, if that is the case, and knowing Android Dreams, we're probably just wrong. But if that's the case, then it makes a lot of sense. Definitely don't pass up on Speed Booster with the potential of Frog Speedway or Climb Super showing up or whatnot.
Well,
finishes no problem.
Yeah, I was gonna say, while Android Dreams had a very nice Ridley fight armed with the plasma beam, Kuru really showing some grit and determination to take on Ridley and to be victorious with the limited options available. So, there's some hype to be had in chat here for Kuru pushing through that fight.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the kind of play I expect from Kuru. A little bit of farming on Simo's side. I definitely agree with that play. I think you never know when you're going to get those farming opportunities in these things. The rooms being is the way they are. So I like to top off whenever I get the opportunity to as well. We've got Kuru going through the reverse escape here, and with only armed with the ice and charge, and low missiles as well. So you just kind of have to tank and go. Android Dreams following close behind, but has plasma to kind of I don't know if you call it an iframe or whatnot, but can pass right through the mobs while they're able to deliver damage.
And it is in this moment that I feel comfortable, willing to eat my words here, because I'm pretty sure that this is where Speed was. And there it is. So I missed how it all connected together. I didn't realize we were still on the Ridley route, but yes, a very important Ridley find is that speed booster. So
Yeah, that makes a lot more sense. Yeah, I absolutely would go back for that. I don't remember if we've seen a speed locked room yet, but it's a likely case. Yeah, Kuru and Android Dreams like almost. I mean, they're like neck and neck here. You know, a door transition apart. Of course, Android Dreams catching up on them with that plasma beam.
I was gonna say there was a jump there that was almost frame for frame. Right here, look at this. Oh my goodness. And I've been spending too much time figuring out what was the end of Ridley that I actually missed. Kishmo has found a new route here and is using speed to progress through that route. So it looks
there
like
it is.
Good
Wow.
call. Good call on speed booster.
Absolutely. I've not personally seen this like the Cora being a gating path yet in my route randos, but that's an interesting one. Going back down, is one of the energy? Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, just
Or maybe oh yeah, may just been a fall that I'm unintentionally calling attention to. We've got Simo now on the Ridley fight again without the plasma. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, the team. I don't know if they forgot that path or, you know, they just got far enough away from it where they didn't really want to take the time to go back for it. But
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously at this point, you know, they're having to do a little bit more difficult fights without it.
Yeah, I thought Simo was just down there. Maybe only found plasma and didn't feel like that was enough. I know it was definitely doing the fight with Gold Chorizo. So, yeah. Oh, maybe we'll ask about that in the interview. I might have missed that. Definitely doesn't have plasma beam though. So.
Here we're going through another room we don't typically see in normal vanilla categories. Bottom side of this room is typically skipped. You might see coming in to check for doing hundo or whatnot for those missiles, or rando coming in from the top. But in this case, we actually get to see the bottom of this room. I actually forgot what it looked like for a while.
And for all the fun wave things, or for all the fun beam things we have, wave beam is one that we're still missing. So having to break through those blocks kind of an inconvenient way. But there's the grapple beam that Kishmo picks up. I wonder if the shack tool, we saw the room earlier.
We saw the pants room. Yeah, we saw pants room, and we know that is it is required to go that direction. I don't know at this point if anything is required that way. It could still be a dead end, but you know, knowing these things, there's very intentional logic gates. Some more supers on Kishmo's side as well is always appreciated.
Yeah, while it's appreciated, it is a dead end. So Kishmo's going to be heading back. I'm not sure. I wonder if how do you bank on it? Do you bank on grapple leading? You know, they're actually, you know, eventually going to come out of options. So that might be one of those places our runners are just forced to go. And if that's the case, speed is hard required there because we got here with that speed booster.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've seen in most of these, like, there's like 3 or 4 like logical, maybe more than that, logical progression items that are pretty much required, kind of chained up. You've seen like some other categories, like the randomizers will produce like progression spheres. I think those maybe show up on multi-worlds, maybe. You can kind of see like how the rando intended for you to progress. And with the route randos, you know, it's pretty cut and dried. Like there's not really like sequence breaking in a route rando like you'd have in the vanilla game, right? Like the routes are intended for you to know certain mechanics, and that's the way you can progress or not. And deviating outside the intended path is not nearly as likely in one of these. So, you know, when I see one of those items come up, like Spring Ball, for example, it's usually a play to grab it because I'm going to assume Frog Speedway is going to come up. And yeah, on Ridley again. Curious to know which direction we'll see these guys take on the Dog Ate My Morph Ball team, because we've got, again, the untraversed path to Plasma. We've got the no, we've got actually, have they? Yeah, we don't have anyone on their team that's found grapple hook. So yeah, they're still, or grappling beam. They're still looking for that.
Well, that speed booster down the Plasma way is going to give you... That's how we got access to Dragon from... I feel like we've seen Dragon here on somebody else's side, because we didn't have Grapple Beam when we fought Dragon.
Right. Yeah, we've definitely seen Dragon before. I think it was Kishmo that I watched earlier do that. Looks like we've tracked it, or yeah, maybe. It's hard for me to tell.
Well, the interesting thing though is if it's one direction that we were getting there from, and there was not a second entrance, then that means that if Dog Ate My Morph Ball, if they prioritize going that Gold Chorizo route, that's going to lead them to this fight as well, which will also give them their Plasma Beam, because the access route that Android Dreams took was those speed booster blocks falling through after right where Plasma was. So.
Okay. Kuru going that way right now, so he did not forget that path, and he is more armed, as we said, to take it on now. So it's good. Looks like he actually managed to land a missile shot there. That's pretty hard to do. I know there's a way to do it. Well, maybe the turnaround, but yeah, he actually landed 1 or 2 missiles on him, draining those missiles down nicely, so he can actually start the farm, and finally in position as well.
Yeah, and interesting to note, if this route ends up being, the progression forward, falling through there with the speed booster, technically Dog Ate My Morph Ball will save time having not gone through there an extra time, because they'll pass through with the speed booster already. I don't know what the balance is on a quarter Ridley fight versus not having to double back, but...
I'm going to have to break up my calculator here.
Technically more efficient routing?
Yeah, like less rooms, but slower rooms, I guess.
Yeah, and we saw when 2 of our runners were kind of frame for frame there, how having the Plasma Beam gave Kishma the ability to just progress further, faster. So,
right.
And it looks like nothing at the end of Dragon there, so Kishmo is kind of moving on as well here.
Oh, almost. The very tight spot with that, gosh, what are they called? I knew this. I looked it up the other day.
They're not called yellow sticky things?
I think those are the bouillons, perhaps.
I'll trust you on it.
Yeah, I forget where we were, but we had someone doing the lookups on the randomizer codes and trying to figure out if we knew what they all were.
Yeah, Simo, after finishing that Ridley fight, goes ahead, grabs Speed Booster, and that's going to give
Kuru gets his... yeah, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just saying, Kuru gets his revenge on GT from earlier.
Yeah, so the end of the Dragon route led to Grapple Beam, because Kishmo went through there and went backwards after picking up the Grapple Beam. So, although it looks like we're finding multiple ways around at this point, so
Yeah, I mean, obviously there tends to be like 1 or 2 loops built into just like the hubs and whatnot. There's so many different types of hub rooms, that you just don't think about. But there's spots where there's maybe 3 doors in a room. But yeah, hopefully we'll see Kishmo. Oh, and Kuru unfortunately sees the plasma right before falling down. Looks like he's making the very good call to go back for that.
And yes, there is the plasma, or there is the grapple beam. So that is at the end of the Dragon loop.
Yeah, that makes total sense now. And yeah, so that means that hopefully we'll be seeing Kishimo taking an optimal route back to that pants room that we saw a long time ago.
I think Kishimo just went through that. I think when I looked,
is he already through it? Okay.
Kishimo was on the back end of that room. I didn't see the grappling, but I'm pretty sure that was the room on the way out. So this looks like new information we're getting on Kishimo's side.
Excellent. So yeah, he or I assume it's he obviously found that that route pretty fast. So that's great.
Talk about hub rooms. Kishimo finding quite a couple of different ways to go. We'll see what doors are locked.
All right, so we've hit Main Street here. Very nice short charge there, as a pretty tight one.
I can't say I know I'm probably getting a reputation for this, but I'm always so impressed by the skills of the runners. So just awesome work on Kishimo's side to grab that short charge. Yeah,
I personally tend to grab it on the right door path instead and just fall down. You've got a lot. What? Did you see that Chozo statue there? I've not seen that one yet. That surprised me.
I guess we could just chalk that up to additions to the route randomizer, right?
Yeah. Just a hello Easter egg between that and the dog-faced, the Franker-faced Z reserve tanks.
I would have been less surprised. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
And the Kappa flames from Fantoon and whatnot.
I would have been less surprised to see Kana Samaria or Master Sword from A Link to the Past in that window there than a giant Chozo statue, but nonetheless,
they are. Somehow squeezed it in there.
So with a lot of new options available to Kishimo thanks to that grapple beam locked in the pants room there, that means that Ridley was required for Speed Booster, and then you double back with Speed Booster to go take on Dragon, because Dragon locks the grapple beam. So we've got 2 required bosses here so far.
And potentially, Kraid was nothing, and potentially Fantoon was required as well. We still don't know that yet. But I believe we saw plenty of Fantoon fights. So and Kishimo knowing about the upwards gauntlet here. That you see a lot of teams kind of debugging these rooms. I think either Maniacal or Sabroth mentioned in another race. You see like that live debugging on rooms that when you know that you need a way to progress. But Kishimo appeared to be knew it right away. It was no surprise. The Wasteland, one of my least favorite rooms in the game.
And we're trading a power bomb expansion there for a missile tank. At I believe that room is called Power Bombs of Shame, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. And Simo. Yep.
Go ahead.
Yep. We're saying the same thing. Yep. Going down to take on GT with the new arsenal and get his plasma beam as well. And GT is not having it and going for the left side. I guess I'm not sure what pattern. Both BT and GT will do the left side pattern if you let them, and it works out fine. If as long as you don't mind taking the time to get them over there.
Left side GT, you sure this isn't A Link to the Past? There we go.
We've got Mother Brain, yep.
Kishimo has pieced it together, so no door for Fantoon, though, that I saw.
No Fantoon, and no Spring Ball or Frog Speedway or anything like that gating us this time. Hopefully Kishimo has saved recently. I don't recall the last save point there, but knowing that information, you got Android Dreams right on his tail, going the same way through Pants Room right now. So yeah, these guys are shaping up to have a hopefully successful run, assuming, of course, no issues fighting Mother Brain. Simo not being, I don't think, too far behind really in the routing, being here. So get the plasma from the top side, can speed booster down that same route and then head straight over to Oh, I guess they still need to get grapple as well. So I think you said grapple was behind. Was it Dragon?
Yeah, so Dog Ate My Morph Ball are both. Crew is about to get it. Grapple Beam was up here through this speed booster lock, so you had to come. You had to kind of double back this way after getting speed booster. But unfortunately, Dog Ate My homework. Dog Ate My Morph Ball. Both runners are after grabbing the grapple are gonna have to double back again to kind of our main hub where we started, which was where the pants room was. And
Kishmo, getting through that Mother Brain 2, no problem.
Charge Ice Plasma. I just charged Ice Plasma. If I could say it again, charge. You see the difference that having that plasma beam makes. Not even worried about missile ammo. Just happy to go in there and deal out some, some charged plasma shots.
Absolutely. And Simo hitting up that Dragon, so we'll find grapple soon. But, I mean, considering everything, still a fairly close race. Obviously, Team is ahead, but things can happen, and so it's definitely too early to call it anything. But both teams should have a pretty close time. I think we're probably separated only by maybe a few minutes.
Yeah, I think it's honestly interesting. I think what it comes down to is possibly the time makeup that they had on the plasma beam. I mean, if we finish within 5, 6, even 10 minutes at the most, I feel like that's about the time we spent going to Ridley once and then kind of noping out and then going back after it. Like, that's easily 10 minutes right there. So, and then also just having the longer Ridley fight as well.
Yeah, I don't want to obviously put too much on one particular thing that happened in the race. There's lots that goes into it, but something that really helped Team was I think it was Kishmo. Now my memory's really poor. Getting that early GT kill, right? Mm-hmm. And so that got them plasma. They knew where it was, and then they could continue doing the whole rest of the sea. I mean, they found it I think 30 minutes in or less maybe, and pretty early. And so they had the luxury of having plasma, making these fights a lot easier, going through the rooms a lot easier. And not having to come back for it or whatnot. They knew it was there already. And there's that Fantoon room. I'd missed that, but Android Dreams went through it. So Fantoon was required. Maybe you already said that, but
no, I missed it. I didn't see it. So
yeah. So Fantoon was required. So we had 3 bosses required. The only optional one was Kraid. And it looks like, according to the tracking, which I'm sure is correct, 2 of the runners looks like skipped Kraid, so that was also the right play to make. So some smart routing there.
Yeah. That would be Android for Team, as you've been saying, and Simo for Dog Ate My Morph Ball. They both got that kind of nothing reward of a missile tank for fighting Kraid, so gave a good heads up to their teammates.
Yeah, that good communication, splitting up the routing. That's what you want. That's what you need to see. Wishing Android Dreams a smooth fight. Hopefully, Mother Brain. Occasionally she likes to get a little spicier than normal. So far, looks pretty smooth. Got Simo going up from the Decor Pit, and Crew as well, right there. So they are high-fiving.
Yeah, Crew has been up here. Oh, sorry. Crew up here grabbed the grapple beam to the left of here, and
that's
so
right.
Able to proceed right. Simo still has to backtrack a little bit, or not backtrack, but take this little fork on the left here to grab the grapple beam.
Yep. So yeah, it was, and they'll be looking for Kuru to kind of keep Simo in the know as far as the pathing going forward here. So of course, finding just another E-tank. Hopefully, we'll tell Simo to nope out of that direction, and then they will make a dash back for that pants room.
Well, Kishmo saved the animals, which
GG
is always appreciated, but especially in this mode because you don't even really get to make the choice since the room is randomized in itself. So Kishmo making the effort to save the animals. And with that is our first runner to finish here. So get some GGs in chat for Kishmo. Teammate
Kishmo
Android
finishes
Oh, go
with
ahead.
an official SRL time of 1 hour, 13 minutes, and 39 seconds. GG. Yeah, and you know, as you said, as far as like with the animals and whatnot, the animal room will show up randomly, of course, but the door will always be on the right side, so you'll be going into the right door. So if you ever see a left side door, you tend to want to take that first, if you're trying to avoid saving the animals, of course. But sometimes, like typically in either parlor or climb, you'll see 2 right side doors, and you just gotta roll the dice.
Well, we like to think that Kishmo was looking to save the animals first, right? Before leaving, of course.
Yes. True humanitarian. I don't know if you'd call it that for alien animals, but something along those lines.
We'll see if Android Dreams makes the same call here, as Android Dreams is powered up with the Hyper Beam, going to be taking down Mother Brain and start that randomized escape sequence. But Android Dreams does have the luxury of Kishmo already running through it, so can give some heads up on what
such
to
a big
check out.
deal. Absolutely, a very big deal. Knowing what you hit one of those hubs, and you got to start checking all the doors, and Kishmo's already done all the work. So Android should have a nice smooth exit.
Yeah, and I think what it really comes down to, like you said, is if I forget who it was it Kuro who was on the GT fight in the beginning, took the death, and Kishmo managed to kind of get through by the skin of the teeth there, because it was a low percent, 2 tanks, barrier suit, no real ammunition to fight back either. So that play just happened to have a very important item behind it, that plasma beam, which, while not required, really packs a punch and gives you an edge.
And GG's to Android Dreams, who is finishing with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 16 minutes, and 48 seconds. We might be a little bit ahead here on the from the time on the screen. Apologies if that's too early. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to necessarily call out plasma being like the big differentiator. Of course, there's lots that goes into it, both luck and skill, But it certainly did play a factor, right? And that GT fight was super hard. And Kuru is an aggressive player and has a lot of skill to back that up. We see Android Dreams now officially completing the run on the screen, so GG's. But yeah, it was a super hard fight. He played aggressively, and unfortunately, he took a death there, and then went a different route based on probably some information that Simo had given him, and that's just how it goes sometimes. It was unfortunate luck. I don't know if we're going to get them for interviews or not. Let me ask.
Yeah, I definitely don't. I would not credit it to sorry. I would not say that it was the sole factor that led into it, but I just think about like the first time one of the Dog Ate My Morph Ball runners fought Ridley and kind of had to nope out of it because of the amount of the push through that they were going to have to fight to get that over without Sans plasma beam. So I don't know that one item was as big a deal as it was just how it shaped the routing for the rest of the run there.
Absolutely, and of course, and our tracker Paragon has made the right choice and officially labeled Team as our winners tonight. The deciding score is based on an average of the 2 teams' finish times, and since both of our team members on the left here have already completed, it makes the math pretty easy to do.
And a big shout out again to our tracker Paragon, doing an awesome job keeping us honest with some of these items around here. I don't know about you, Sir Cabby, but I know for myself and probably most of us at home, this is not easy to keep track of.
Absolutely. I think that was pretty apparent. But did an excellent job for us. We really appreciate the help.
Indeed, Paragon. Thank you so much. Happy to have you. Great job.
Happy to be here. Thank you.
Hey, welcome.
Yeah, and I think that Sir Cabby, you can comment probably more to this than I can, since you are a runner yourself. You certainly do not want to watch me run. It's bad, but all things considered, I think I really enjoyed the play from Dog Ate My Morph. Good execution, really showing some grit and determination to go through fights like that GT fight, and like the Ridley fight. Remember, both runners on the right were able to take down Ridley with Charge Ice Beam, essentially.
That was not a tough or not an easy fight by any means, and I mean they absolutely had the opportunity to show off some of those more challenging fights, and in some of the rooms as well had to be modified, of course, to handle that differently. Let's see here.
And we do indeed have Android Dreams. Oh, sorry. Android Dreams joining us in chat. GG's, Android.
Thank you.
Yeah, so what was going through your head? You get down to the end of the race, and of course, in these route ranges, you got a lot of like discovery and backtracking and whatnot. Did you feel like you were doing well this whole race? And like, how was your team handling what was being thrown your way?
We felt pretty good. We did a pretty good job of splitting and making checks. And I don't know, we did pretty good at sharing information. We talked before, like during the week, about not really sharing information as far as like saying like, oh, there's missiles here, energy tanks here. So we really just kind of only communicated like the essential stuff. From what we had happened, we thought the worst thing that happened was I can't do low percent Ridley. If I could do low percent Ridley, then that would have been a really crazy time. But at least we already knew where that plasma beam was, and fighting Gold Chorizo is not hard. It just takes a while. So but other than that, then after that, Kish did a really great job of telling me exactly where to go for speed and grapple. And then he said that he got really lucky with finding the exact route to Mother Brain, and so we felt pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, certainly in my opinion, this is a really good time to have on a route rando. An hour and 16-ish minutes is pretty solid. Unfortunately, what happened was we had kind of like a pairing of teams here, like as far as like where you guys were going and whatnot. You guys were neck and neck for a lot of things early on and even later on as well. And Kishmo pulled through that GT fight and was able to get back to Plasma and find it and whatnot. Kuru unfortunately took a death there. I mean, of course, the ammo count, the energy count was very low for that point, and he played it pretty aggressively, trying to farm without grappling beam and whatnot.
Right.
Unfortunately, took a hit too many. Of course, that's a really tough fight to do quickly in that loadout. So, we definitely give him props for going for it. That was tough. And but then after that happened, they kind of noped out of that direction for a long time. So they didn't know Plasma was back there, I don't think, unless we missed it. So yeah, you guys had that, and having Plasma, helped for a lot of rooms that the other guys didn't really have it. So they had slower fights. They had to do a lot of just charge ice for most of the run. And we even saw that happen in a few places where you guys were in the same room, traversing at the same time, like neck and neck, and then you guys slowly inching out ahead of them with that plasma beam.
So did they do the low percent Ridley fight that I can't do?
Yeah, both runners for Dog Ate My Morph Ball did charge ice.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And whatever super missiles, and like they were, some double power bomb and stuff like that. But Kishmo making that play for and finding plasma beam really helped you guys, especially with those kinds of moments.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't do Ridley fights without plasma or 30 supers, to be honest. So I was kind of thinking like, all right, well, I can give this a try, but then I was like, I know where plasma is. I could spend a lot of time not killing Ridley just to go get it anyways. So my reset, though, the worst part about that was the other thing that in hindsight could have been better. My last save was at the wreck ship lobby, and there was a route back to the landing site from there, but I didn't mark it on my map that I'm tracking. My map, it's 3 sticky notes and a bunch of lines and chicken scratch. But
that's a map. That's a map. No worries.
Yeah,
it is.
It works. Like we got through it doing that. But if I would have remembered to go back from the ship from there, it would have been much faster than going all the way back through like the very first entrance. But yeah, I mean that's my second fastest route randomizer time out of the 20 some seeds I've played for getting seeds for this.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were our play tester.
Yeah, one of them.
To get the seeds, yeah.
But I did have one solo that I actually did faster somehow, but that doesn't mean much in this because it could have gone either way. I probably just got really lucky.
Yeah, and you guys both, of course, made the decision to go all the way back to get Fantoon. I don't know if it's always guaranteed that the Fantoon locked area will show up if you see Fantoon, but
it's not actually. So there are times where you can find Fantoon and it not be required, but I think finding that early, we kind of we've just talked about just go to Fantoon. Like if you find it, just kill Fantoon.
I think I definitely agree with that play, and we saw that from all of our runners today. So definitely, that's a huge time sink, getting all the way to the end and then having to go all the way back to the beginning. I learned that one the hard way in practice before we started doing these races. So
yeah,
yep.
I will ask your opinion while you're here. We actually, funny enough, we have both Crew and Simo about neck and neck, frame for frame here with this baby on screen against the mother, or against Mother Brain. But I will ask you, Android Dreams, how did it feel to have to go all the way down that kind of rabbit trail after getting Speed Booster from all the way down in Ridley, to then just have to use that to double all the way back to go back to use it for that grapple in the pants room?
It felt normal. I mean, that's totally par for the course for these route randomizers from what I've experienced. Even in the ones where it's very linear as far as like all the hub rooms lead to a very close by item, and then you get one branch that actually goes to progression, you're going to end up coming back to a lot of stuff. I actually started mapping the room that's behind Terminator, the crumble shaft and stuff. I actually started labeling that Terminator 2 because you'll always be back in that room in these. But actually we weren't. This was the only one where, because Kish already found the right way, I was just able to go to the right door, which was nice.
Love that name. I'm stealing it.
But we noticed you didn't choose to save the animals?
Nope. We wouldn't. Kish wouldn't have if he would have known. But so I'm really glad that I'm on a team that cares about not saving the animals, and prepared me to not save the animals.
Well, I'll tell you now, you just outed Kish because we believe that it was the kindness of Kish's heart.
No.
But you heard it here, chat. Kish has no love for the animals.
No love. Just no animals saving. It's not what we're about. We don't like the extra pixel at the end. It's not aesthetically pleasing to us. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, I think. But thank you both so much, Cabby and 329. Really appreciate the commentary. I know we've had a super busy schedule. And then I don't know who's tracking because I don't have the thing pulled up.
Paragon.
Paragon, thank you so much also for jumping in. Speed Gaming Crew. But yeah, I can't wait to see what my teammates do tomorrow, and go team.
Well, GG's again to you, Android Dreams, as well as your teammate Kishmo. Absolutely awesome job. It was a ton of fun to watch this race. Very entertaining. And while we talk about GG's, get some GG's in chat for Simo finishing right there.
Yes, and congratulations on the win, Android.
Thank you. I have one more thing to add. Make sure that you follow Kish. Kish is such a good Super Metroid player. So watch Kish play Super Metroid whenever he does. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you. We got Kuru now as well. Let's see what their times are. So we've got Simo with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 16 seconds. And Kuru right behind him with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 46 seconds. So we have 30 seconds separating Team Dog Ate My Morph Ball.
I feel like I could do that average in my head.
So let's see if we can, if any of them are interested in interviews as well today.
Yeah, chat, get some GGs in there for Team Dog Ate My Morph Ball. Hard-fought race from all 4 runners, and it was very entertaining to watch. Can't stress this enough. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please consider giving a follow to these runners. They work hard, practice these games tirelessly to make sure that these races are entertaining, and it is a great way to just show support, show some love to the runners, as well as enjoy great content throughout the years on their channels. Looks like we're going to be able to be joined here.
See Kuru joining into the setup and Simo as well.
And we have Simo here in chat. GG Simo.
Thanks. It went okay, except for that death. I didn't think we routed it too badly, but it feels like they got pretty far ahead of us despite that death.
Everyone, pretty much every team dies in a route rando at some point or another. And so, I think it was put pretty well in another race that you kind of trade those deaths back and forth as you go. But yeah, so 329 here and I were kind of talking about the differentiators that we could see, and there's many times in this race you guys are in the same room high-fiving, both runners at the same time, the same rooms across the teams, and it was pretty incredible to watch. Hard to keep track of all the action going on, but what I would say one of the bigger differentiators that we did notice was kind of early on that GT fight. Kuru went pretty aggressive with it. He did very well, but took a death on that one, and Kishmo managed to squeeze it out. He kind of took a safer route on it, and I think Kuro's. Yeah, exactly. So we had the plasma beam early, at least early discovery on the other team's side. So I believe at some point there's a reset and we lost the beam, but they knew where it was and they went back for it at some point, and they both had it. So sorry, go ahead.
Did they have it for the Ridley fight, or were they doing charge ice like us plebs?
Yeah.
No, they. Go ahead.
No, I was just didn't mean to cut you off, Sir Cabby. Kishmo had it, and I think Android Dreams found Ridley without finding it, but did have the information, so decided instead of trying to trudge through that, went back. And I think that those were the bigger. Sir Cabby and I were talking about this. Didn't want to blame it on one item, but certain things like not having to do the full, the charge ice Ridley fight, stuff like that. Both of them were able to use plasma.
I could have had that plasma beam too for the fight, but I saw that it was speed locked, so I just immediately reset back to Ridley. So I assumed it would just be missiles or something there.
That's a good point. Yeah. As far as you knew, that was a dead end at the other side of that. So yeah.
So that's what happened, and we have Kuro in chat as well. Kuro, GGs.
GGs.
I didn't see why you reset. I thought I saw you fight Gold Chorizo and then not have plasma beam later, and then you're at Ridley, and okay. I could have sworn.
Yeah, I kept the save there right by Ridley, so I could just reset back if GT wasn't the progression.
All right. Well,
plasma beam was like the only thing it could have been that would have saved me any time.
That makes a lot more sense now, because I scratched in my head trying to figure out how you ended up back at Ridley without plasma, but okay, and put it all together here. But yeah, I think just I think some of that had to feed into it, and there was even the time you took to nope out of Ridley and then come back and fight Ridley charge ice anyway. I think that to me is where I see the most time, because Sir Cabby put it so well. There were times where you guys were neck and neck, or even you'd be in a room ahead of them. And just because of the plasma beam, just kind of taking enemies at 1 or 2 hits and like just able to move past you in frame and then just end up leaving the room before you. So
yeah. I mean, certainly not the only thing to happen, as far as the routing and whatnot, but definitely made it a lot easier for the other team for a number of places. But yeah, I mean, definitely a very solid race. What was going through you guys' heads, as far as like the route itself? Did you feel like you were ahead? I mean, you still had in my opinion, a really great time. Was the dot done from the other team surprising, I guess, at that point, or how'd it go?
I mean, I think we expected them to beat us. They're really good players, so I'm not surprised. But I was kind of surprised that after we got grappled, that there were so many more rooms before we got to Mother Brain. And it's like, oh wow, we're a little more behind than we thought we were. But
yeah, that was you finally get the grapple, have to go all the way back to the pants room, and I think your last logical progression.
Yeah, we knew we had to go there.
Yeah.
I still checked right at the core because I was worried that we also needed Wave Beam, and then it would really stink to go all the way back, get a pants room, and see a Wave Gate, and be like, oh, we need to go back.
Absolutely, yeah. Wave or Spring Ball, I think, could have still been a progression item to find, and and of course, we could see the communication happening. You do the check, and then Simo doesn't, and So you were at that point in the race, you were kind of leading the way. Based on where you guys kind of ended up in your routing and whatnot. So we could see Simo taking a little bit of a quicker route, trying to come back.
Yeah, it definitely helps for like even escape the team talk.
Absolutely,
It would have been good if I didn't die to Ridley. I mean, the issue there was, I would, like, right before that, I was in Business Center. I was like, oh, well, I don't really need to save anymore, do I? Like, I had Varia, had Gravity, I had like 10 supers. I'm like, well, this is a pretty comfortable loadout, and then I just immediately ran into Ridley, and then it was like a low ice style Ridley fight, which is not something I'm particularly comfortable with.
I think it's best described as awful. It's awful.
I also took a Ridley death yesterday, so I can relate. That's not a fun situation to find yourself in. And we actually found in this seed that 3 bosses were required, kind of a higher count than average. Only Kraid leading to a dead end, which both teams handled appropriately by not having the other team member do. And at one point in the race, we thought that there was nothing behind Ridley, and we were surprised to see people going back to it. And then we realized eventually, I think it was a speed booster path or whatnot. But yeah, that was very entertaining. It was a lot of very good. You could see the communication happening. You could see the knowledge share, and you could see that there's more than one time where we could see the team go back for a route that we had in our heads as well. It's like, did they remember to go back to this place? And yeah, sure enough, you guys found it pretty quick. So I think you guys played it very well, even despite the loss and whatnot. I think it went very well.
Yeah, I want to echo those words of Cabby as well. I think that despite the loss, I mean, watching the both of you go through those low percent Ridley fights and then still make such a close race out of this, to have the effort to push through that, it's just grit and like good skill and determination, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Very impressive play from both of you.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thanks.
With that, if there's any last words, feel free. But I imagine you guys have probably said what your piece on this. 329. Do you want to kind of wrap it up for us?
Sure. Once again, GG's to both Simo and Kuru, as well as GG's to Android Dreams and Kishmo on all excellent races today. Team walking away with a win tonight. But it has been an absolute pleasure and a very entertaining race to watch. If you only caught the tail end of this, highly recommend check the VOD. There was some awesome, interesting things happen at the beginning of this. A big thank you and shout out to our tracker Paragon. Thank you so much for working with us and keeping us honest on items throughout the run tonight. not an easy thing to keep track of, as we saw several times. Just a whole bunch of stuff happens all at once and tough to follow. So appreciate that. Thank you. And a big shout out to Sir Cabby. It was an absolute pleasure to work in the booth alongside you.
Yes, thank you for backing me up today. Kind of last minute. I definitely appreciate the help.
No problem. I did a solo one of these a couple hours ago, and it was, well, let's just say I have a little less hair than I did when I started, though. But no, these are great, tons of fun to watch. And if you've enjoyed it tonight, please check the schedule, because the Super Metroid Item Randomizer League has plenty of matches going on throughout the weekend, and it's going to be more awesome and entertaining action, just like it was tonight. Like we said again, give a follow to the runners, give a follow to our crew. Everybody is working so tirelessly to put on this awesome content, and it's such a fun community to get to be a part of. I hope you enjoyed everything tonight. I am 329th in line, and we'll see you here next mission.